It is the Zach Martin Show on TIC TV. We're with our special guest. I call everybody special. Everybody is special. I feel like the Mr. Rogers of radio and TV. Jeff Carlson, you are special, Jeff.
Thank you.
And you're calling or you're checking in from Las Vegas. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I have to talk about people in Texas. They're not doing very well because of the COVID-19. It turns out that there is a shortage of Diet Dr. Pepper. And I just want to say they're not a sponsor, but it is my favorite beverage. And I have about 4 or 5 cases now. If you are living in Texas and you must have your Dr. Pepper, which is cool and refreshing, ah,
Awesome.
I will
We've got
sell it to you. I will sell it to you for an exorbitant price because that's America, man. All right, Jeff. We're going to play your video, Juke Box Hero, which turns out to be, I would say it is my favorite Foreigner song.
oh wow,
And
great.
you know how Foreigner got their name, how they decided on that? It's a
No,
pop
actually,
quiz.
I don't.
All right, well, let me tell you because I'm old. Half the guys are from the United States, the other half are from the UK. So no matter where they went throughout this world of ours, someone would be a
Warner.
there you go. It's a very simple thing. Uh, before we play the song, I got to tell you, the video is really cool. I like the lyric video. I like that concept because then you can sing along. I like the vocals on it. The band is tight. Let's talk a little bit about your band, how you put them together. Everybody, I would assume, when you were looking over their curriculum vitae, their resume, they all had to have long hair. Like I wouldn't, yeah, I'd be like,
Not
out, Zach.
necessarily.
No, sorry, man, you're going bald. You don't have enough hair. Put on a wig. No.
You'd be surprised how many musicians I've had to deal with through the years.
All right, so tell us about the guys in the band.
No, it's all good. My lead guitar player and my bass player, Robbie Wilson, Corey K. We played together in 1998. We met each other and started playing together. We had a band called Liquid Angel Park at first, then Liquid Sky, and then in we played together off and on. And by 2007, I moved to Tucson, and I I was in and out of the music business, and then finally in 2017, I got a distribution deal through Mike Bailey, the drummer for Bret Michaels. He actually had a label and I met him on tour with Bret, and he had signed me to his label as a solo artist. So I moved back to Las Vegas in 2018, and as luck would have it, I put together, this band that you see here, basically.
Okay.
Again,
So, yeah, version 2, right? Part 2,
exactly.
whatever you call it,
Thanks
2.0.
again
Yeah.
on,
Uh,
on our
all right.
five CP.
So, so you step away from music for a little while. And here's something interesting. People don't realize that some guys are in major bands or they're major rock personalities. They do this every once in a while where they step away from what they feel really called to do. But you're once you're a musician, once you're a radio person, once you're an actor, whatever it might be, you're that way for life. It's part of your DNA. You can't
It
help it.
is. That's
So,
right.
um, Vinny Appice or Appice. So you got Carmine Appice, who's a best friend of mine, and his brother Vinny, little Vinny, right? And they each say their names differently. And then you got Fred, who's the oldest brother, probably, believe it or not, who stayed out of music, the most successful out of all of the brothers. I don't know some chemical company. Anyway, so Vinny, he decides that he wants to try something else. He gets a job working for Verizon, I think in California. So he's the
Wow.
telephone man. Can you imagine? Hey, ding
No.
a ling a ling a ling. I'm the telephone man, showing up there, pulling wires,
Let me drop the phone if I knew it was him.
Yeah. So I met him before. This is after he does his little thing with Black Sabbath. Little thing, yeah, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm working for Verizon. I'm like, all right, that's interesting. And like, we all do. We just move on to the next. And then Black Sabbath reforms. He gets back in it. And he hasn't been to Verizon ever since. But I do believe that he's set up so he's got a nice little pension, which is really different for most musicians. People don't realize A lot of guys that do this for a living, when they end up retiring or when they can't play anymore, they got ungats in the shingle. You know that expression? Ungats in the shingle. Zip, nada, nothing. So, there's a group of us that are always trying to help out those guys. Anyway, back to the Jeff Carlson Band. What did you do while you were living in Arizona to make a living?
Well, basically, I've got Crohn's disease.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry about that. So Dr. Pepper is probably a little bit, too rough on you. It's got
it's okay.
it's got some prunes in there. This is great for us old guys. I just want to mention for those of you listening in Texas once again that if you'd like to
Yeah,
buy a case of Dr. Pepper,
that's awesome.
I have it at exorbitant prices. I'm not going to kid around about that. So yeah, you have Crohn's disease. I'm sorry about
Yeah,
that.
um, I've had. I actually died for almost 3 minutes on the operating table here in 2001. Um, and I've had 7 surgeries since then, off and on, and I'm on disability.
Well, we're gonna have to fix your microphone a little bit,
Okay,
because
that,
now we're getting into something that's really cool that I want to talk to you about. You
yeah,
ready?
no worries.
All right.
Tell you what,
So
let me try.
yeah, just you just fix that there because
Can you hear better? Is that better?
yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
Hey,
you
yeah,
you you died for 3 minutes.
yeah.
Where did you go? Did you have a out of body experience? Were you looking at everybody on the operating table? Did you sneak into the women's shower? What happened?
Yeah. No, actually, funny story. Yeah, honestly, I don't remember anything other than waking up in the ICU, feeling like this is the worst hangover I've ever had.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
could
I
feel
lived
that
through
way.
it. Thank God I lived through it. Um, and so basically, I had to file disability once I got to Arizona. And
Uh-huh.
I finally got it after 3 tries. They think you're faking it for the first two. I don't know what's going on,
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah, that's unfortunate that they have to make people go through hoops. And then if you get the handicap parking, people
yeah,
don't understand it. Let's just think about this. I got to bring this up. You have an issue like Crohn's disease, which means there are times where you have to get to the bathroom fast and you end up in traffic behind a slow farm equipment. Then you hit road closures. Then on the road that they opened to do the detour, there's another big truck that just stands in its place. You hit every red light along the way, and it's not a good thing. So therefore, when you really have to go badly, it's good to get at least the handicap parking up at front. So those of you listening or watching, do not judge. You have no idea what the colon is doing to somebody, right?
yeah. They had to remove all but 6 inches of my large intestine. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky. Yeah, it was crazy, man. But I'm
Well,
lucky to be here.
look, you're still on this side of the dirt, which is a good thing. Now you're
Yeah,
in Las Vegas. It doesn't matter how hot it gets because you're in air conditioning and you got the ceiling fan. Does it get any
exactly.
better? I don't think so. And Jeff,
I
there
try
is
to
nothing.
have a glass half full versus half empty attitude.
Right, right. And we all know there's a couple of feelings in the world that are fantastic. On a hot day when you feel the air conditioning coming down, on a hot
Yeah,
day when you get out of the shower and you feel the air conditioning coming down, and on a hot day when you've been in the pool or at the ocean and you go inside and you got that coolness, like you're a walking swamp cooler. Those are all great things, right?
exactly.
All right, let's get back to the music.
Yeah, you got it.
What made you decide to cover? First off, I'm not really sure about your catalog. How many times have you covered songs? That's a good question. How many songs have you covered?
Well, Juke Box Hero is the first song we've covered that we actually released as a single. Um, we've covered La Do Day from Journey on the Infinity record.
Uh huh.
That's a fun song to play. We usually do that live. We've covered Shapes of Things from Gary Moore, the Gary Moore
Okay.
version. Um, and that's about it really for right now. I mean, this band is an original band. So
Okay.
we tend to focus on writing and recording our stuff. But I thought it would be a really good sorry for the phone.
That's
I
all
thought
right.
it's a really good release, especially with Frank on it, Frank Hannon, because him and I we've been dear friends since 2010 when I actually opened for him in Tucson, believe it or not. And it's not an original, but yet I think it's a song people know and can relate to. And the biggest reason I chose that song was I lost my dad in 2000 in this January of this year, and he always played it for me as a kid because of the words. He always thought that it reminded him of me.
Oh,
So
that's sweet. Yeah, that's nice. So, how old was your dad?
he just turned 70, I believe it was.
Okay. See, I really, this is another point because you bring up some reality situations for all of us. And I like to use these opportunities as a learning experience as much as getting to know the person on the other end and learning about the music. I, People ask, well, how old was your father? And if you say old enough, they just sort of nod. But what people don't realize, the age is just a number. And it doesn't matter how old somebody is or how young somebody is, it's still a tremendous loss. And it really takes a lot to try to put it all in perspective because what I've always experienced, Carl, Jeff, is that there's no such thing as closure. Closure to me is always kind of a BS thing that we all say. So you got your father and you do this in memory of him, which is a beautiful thing. May I say memory eternal. It's an expression so that he's never forgotten and he's in your heart. So now he's closer to you than ever. Um, but we all experience this loss. And, we got a choice of how we're going to move on from that. We can sit and cry and be all depressed, or we can smile about the good things and still cry sometimes when you think about, some events in your life and those moments that you had with your dad. But this is a great way to really take your energy and all of your emotion, put it into a song, and then you create the video, which we will play. I applaud that. That's really awesome. And to pick a song that your old man really likes, he's smiling down, go, yeah, I like that song. I'm glad he didn't cover "I Want to Know Where Love Is" or something like that. You know,
All right.
or if he covered it, please ruin the song because I just can't stand it. Like this.
I'm
That's
with
always
you
the
on
thing.
that.
If you're listening.
Overplayed.
Yeah, if you're listening to a song that you're a rocker, and if you listen to a song that you hate in the radio, if you really want to, get your point across, do opposite whatever they do. So, if it's a ballad, rock it out. If it's a hard rocking tune, make it into a ballad. Just change it altogether. And that's really interpretation of music. Because the other challenge I was going to have for you is I would like you guys to cover Led Zeppelin 1, which is funny
Wow.
because Led Zeppelin 1 is a big cover album that nobody realized was covered to begin with of all Willie Dixon songs and great blues guys. So,
Yep.
why don't you call it Led Zeppelin 1A as your album? How about that? Good idea, right? I like causing trouble.
That's awesome.
All right,
Funny,
here we go.
my guitar player Robbie loves Led Zeppelin. I
How
think
how
if he,
can you not? How can you not
I
love
know,
Led
I
Zeppelin?
know,
Just
me too.
awesome.
I think
There
if he changed his last name to Page, he would.
Oh, I wouldn't blame him. Now, Jimmy Page is cool. I got to interview him and Robert and John
Oh,
Paul Jones.
wow.
So I got to go to all three in that group. One of my favorites.
I'm honored to be
Um,
here.
huh? Yeah, right.
I'm,
Oh,
I'm honored
thank
to
you.
be here.
Thank you. I still have the interview somewhere, but every once in a while, boy, Robert would get mad when I go. I like that cover, of that song you did. It's not a cover; it's an interpretation. Oh, I used to like needle him. Um, Jimmy Page, one day in the 70s, was in a recording studio. I don't know what album they were working on, but they ran into the Rolling Stones. Did you hear this story?
No.
Oh, it's a great one. It's a great one. And, I guess as a kid, and you think of all the great guitar players and you think of all the great bands, you think to yourself, wouldn't it be cool if Led Zeppelin got together with the Rolling Stones or the Beatles with Led Zeppelin, like one of those,
Yeah.
matches, moshing or whatever they call it. So they're in the studio, and Jimmy Page is on his way out, and Robert Plant, along with, I'm sorry, Keith and Mick are on their way in, and they have a discussion with Jimmy. He ends up jamming with them, and they
Oh,
record this song called Scarlet, which is out right now. We have the video at newhdusa.com and the background story. And here's what Keith Richards had to say. You ready? You ready,
yeah.
Jeff Carlson? Which means, So if you're a hyperpolyglot, you probably understood that. Keith Richards should have his own language on Rosetta Stone, much like Ozzy. All right, there we go. All right, we're having a lot of fun here, Jeff. Go to jeffcarlsonband.com, and we, without further ado, which means goodbye, and I never could figure out that French phrase, we're going to play the Jeff Carlson Band Juke Box Hero on video right now.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low, couldn't get a ticket, it was a sold out show. Heard the roar of the crowd, he could picture the scene, put his head to the wall, and like a distant scream, he heard one guitar just blew him away. Saw stars in his eyes, and the very next day bought a beat up six string in a secondhand store. Didn't know how to play it, but he knew for sure that one guitar felt good in his hands. Didn't take long to understand just one guitar, someway down low, was a one-way ticket, only one way to go. So he started rocking, and he's never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking, someday gonna make it to the top and be a Juke Box Hero. He's a Juke Box Hero. He took one guitar, Hero, Juke Box Hero. He'll come alive tonight. In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour, Lord, he casts his own shadow by the backstage door. Like a trip through the past, that day in the rain. Now one guitar, when his whole life changed. Now he needs to keep a rocking, and he's never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking. That boy has got to stay on top and be a Juke Box Hero. He's a Juke Box Hero.
Oh, that is sweet.
Thank-
Dedicated to your dad, Terry. Well done. I mean, listen, let's deconstruct this a little bit. The band is tight. I love the drums on it. The guitars are wicked. Well done. I mean, bravo. Very. You made it into a master. You made it your own. So I would say sooner or later, someday down the road, some little kid is going to make the mistake to go to his dad. Dad, man, you just don't understand my music, man. I was listening to Jeff Carlson Band, and they've got a song that speaks to me that they wrote, Juke Box Hero. And he's going to hit him in the back of the head and say, you can't possibly be from my loins. That is fantastic.
Lucky Bandit was one of my favorite movies.
Right, Junior? When I get home, remind me to slap your mother. You can't possibly be from my loins. That a great one, Jackie Lee.
Damn it, no way you can come from my Lord.
That's good stuff, man. The video itself is available on YouTube channel. All you have to do is search Jeff Carlson Band. And we didn't use the high quality that you have. You almost HD, or I think you're pretty much close to HD on YouTube. So if you're watching and you're a little bit disappointed by, I guess, the quality of the video, I mean, what do you want from me? I'm broadcasting from my house, and there are limits to what I could do, but fantastic. Also, your website is top notch. And
Thank
I
you.
got to ask this, what we need to do is we got to give kudos to whoever the web designer is. So who is that?
Well, actually, it's Dan Mitchell from Not Falling Studios. He works for our label, RFL Records. But I actually put together the website myself on Wix, and then I sent it to Dan, and he refined it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great because you get the basic I guess design out. I always like to make my websites very simple and use basic colors. Pardon me, I had to belch because of the Dr. Pepper, which by the way, still, if you're in Texas and you need a couple of cases, I'm your guy at an extremely high rate. Because I got to ship it to you, right? You want me to ship it here? Ship right here? Yeah. Ship myself? Yeah. Yeah, we're making some good I guess cultural references here on the Zach Martin Show. Now I forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh yeah, the website. Yeah, I like to keep it simple and easy to navigate. I guess there was a time where everybody thought Flash was cool, sort of like when you're a disc jockey, you think reverb is cool, so you overdo the reverb. You find that new effect. What is that one effect when you're recording that you must somehow get it in? I know you probably, everybody else cringes when you do it, but you have to get it in there.
Is it? Are you talking about like the AM radio sound, or
It could be whatever. Maybe you have some sort
okay.
of like foot pedal that you like to use. It's a signature. Oh, guys, this is my signature, man. So shut up, that kind of thing. And they look at you like you're nuts. You got one of those?
No.
Well, you have to invent one. You should bullshit right now and come up with some sort of BS answer, because what you want to do is mislead somebody that wants to be you.
I know, right? I haven't met anybody yet that wants to be me, but that's pretty cool.
There's going to be one. There's always going to be one. So there's
Oh,
no
man.
crazy effect. Maybe all right, how about this? Let's talk about Joe Walsh and that wah-wah box. Wah, 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 wah. I mean, I would put more wah-wahs in my song, even in Juke. It's something like that. Something like that, right?
More cowbell.
Yeah, more cowbell. Oh, funny story about that. I actually am friends with Eric Bloom from Blue Oyster Cult. And
Did he see that bit?
huh?
Did he see that bit?
Oh, of course. Let me tell you what happened. He goes, Zach, I was there. I was sitting on the couch. He was on the phone, like, I'm sitting on the couch that I saw this on, that I'm talking to you right now over the phone. And when I saw it, I thought to myself, uh-oh, this is good or bad. Either our career is finally over or it's going to be good for us. It turned out to be good for them. And then he tells the story about, I don't know whether it was Sturgis or where they were playing, but they're on stage playing Don't Fear the Reaper and, the cowbell. And all of a sudden, this large gal gets up on stage and starts whacking the cowbell. And the manager never told them that there was a contest. And they're all looking at each other. You can imagine this. They're like, where's security? Well, who is this? this woman, she won the chance to do cowbell on stage to Don't Fear the Reaper. They didn't tell the rest of the guys. So, just one of those funny moments. And I can't help but bring it up. The interesting thing about that, Bruce Dickinson is not the same. It's not the guy from Iron Maiden. It's two different people. Bruce Dickinson was, I think, either he had something to do with the album itself, or maybe he was one of those studio engineers, but it's not the guy from Iron Maiden. So a lot of people get that character confused. Two different Bruce Dickinsons, and I forget the exact story.
Hang on 1 second.
He's putting my hold, everybody. Okay.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Now, after 26 minutes, the mic is perfect.
Once I gotta
What happened?
figure this out here.
What happened?
1 second here. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Okay, great. Sorry about that.
Do you know that the microphone sounds best than it has through the entire interview? That's fantastic. It's just par for the course. All right. So there were two Bruce Dickinsons. The end of the story is they were glad that it happened to him. And, when you get spoofed on Saturday Night Live, you made it. Hopefully that'll happen to me, and probably will to the both of us after somebody from Saturday Night Live actually sees this and knows what I did with Dr. Pepper and knows some of the hijinks that you just pulled off here. This good stuff.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
We can always visit your website at jeffcarlsonband.com. Check the song out on YouTube, the video. And you know that people are not going to pay for this song. They're going to find ways to hear it for free.
It's okay. That's
all right. But if someone wants to buy some of your merch, obviously on your website, you got a whole section of really good stuff. What's some of the merch that you have available on jeffcarlsonband.com?
We've got t-shirts. We've got home decor stuff. Like I just made a really cool plaque that's got all four of us on it.
I got to have that plaque. Congratulations, man. Juke Box Hero of the Year. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We've got what else did I make?
You got any CBD products?
Oh, masks. We got masks.
There you go. That's great. So get a Jeff Carlson Band mask. Fantastic. Great idea. See, like me and the Dr. Pepper, you're taking advantage of the situation. Gotta love that. It is the American way. How can somebody follow you on social media, Jeff?
They can go to Instagram, Jeff Carlson Band. They can go to Facebook. We have Jeff Carlson Band on Facebook, and we also have JCB Army on Facebook.
Okay.
Which is a really cool fan page I've got. And I think, the website, obviously, we're on Twitter, Jeff Carlson Band on Twitter. That's
okay. So here's the deal I'll make with you. If when people view this video here or listen to the audio and they think, gosh, the mic sucks on both ends, and finally at the end, Jeff Carlson finally figured it out, and we can have you back and we could do this all over again. Of course, it's not going to be the same exact conversation, with the exception of one thing before I go. Just a reminder for those of you who are watching in Texas, I have 3 extra cases of Dr. Pepper. You need this. Exorbitant rates, but it'll be worth it because I have to count for delivery and probably several taxes because I live in New Jersey. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. And, I'm going to do something completely different with you. One more time before we go, I'll say adios to you, mi amigos. We're going to play Juke Box Hero by Jeff Carlson Band right now on Zach Martin, TIC TV.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low, couldn't get a ticket, it was a sold-out show. Heard the roar of the crowd, he could picture the scene, put his head to the wall, and like a distant scream, he heard one guitar In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour, rode a castle's own shadow by the backside.